Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Swallowed Star 2 Land of Origin Part 101 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. Primordial City stands tall and vast, while a spacecraft is flying mid-air. This Primordial City is indeed extraordinary. Luo Feng observed the outside from within the spacecraft. He controlled Yulon City and had lived in Chengfeng City for over 1,000 eras, instantly noticing the difference between Primordial City and other cities. This city is much more formidable and terrifying. Beside him, Bai Yin Divine Emperor said, "This place was built by Senior Yuan and the others. The treasures stored here are countless, including 7 world-level primordial life corpses. Naturally, Primordial City is indestructible. No matter how numerous the low-level primordial lives are, they cannot make a step into Primordial City." Luo Feng nodded. "Although it's very safe, residing in Primordial City is not easy," Bo Xiu smiled. "There is no residence fee here, but you must have your own cave mansion. The cave mansion prices are the highest in the entire Dark Sacred Realm. Of course, for those at the pinnacle, purchasing a cave mansion is very easy." Luo Feng nodded. He sensed that the ancestors of the two nations from the land of origin reside in Primordial City. It can be seen from this that the ancestors from the source world are relatively wealthy. The cave mansion in the large Primordial Hall is the most expensive. Moreover, it cannot be rented, only purchased, said the red-robed young man Kaishan. Luo Feng looked into the distance, even from afar, clearly seeing the majestic and vast large Primordial Hall, resembling an octagonal city, covering a vast area. Large Primordial Hall. Luo Feng whispered to himself, as he had come to the Dark Sacred Realm mainly for this large Primordial Hall. As the four entered the large Primordial Hall, invisible fluctuations engulfed them. "Cultivator Luo Feng, what service do you need?" A gentle voice sounded, simultaneously conveying the information of all services provided by the large Primordial Hall. "I need to purchase a cultivation cave mansion within the large Primordial Hall," Luo Feng replied. "A cultivation cave mansion, exchange price is 1 million battle merits, confirm exchange," responded the gentle voice. Confirmed exchange. Coming here, Luo Feng's primary goal was for this cultivation cave mansion. It's known that in a city like Yulon City, the exchange price is merely 2 million merit points. Just a cultivation cave mansion costs so much, even for those at the pinnacle level, only a few are willing to buy. "Cultivator Luo Feng, you have exchanged for Yiju Cave Mansion. From this moment, the realm of time-space where Yiju Cave Mansion is located is entirely centered around you," said the gentle voice. Luo Feng immediately sensed that deep within the large Primordial Hall, an independent realm of time-space had established a connection with him. "Brother Luo Feng." Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaishan looked at Luo Feng. "We didn't purchase a cave mansion in the large Primordial Hall," Bo Xiu said. "We all reside long-term in Chengfeng City. In Primordial City, we only bought a simple cave mansion." "We won't disturb you here," Bai Yin Divine Emperor also said. "Brother Luo Feng, need us to continue acquiring life and death secret treasures?" asked the red-robed youth Kaishan. "All right," Luo Feng said, "select a few quality ones, 5 secret treasures are enough." Currently, his priority is for the life and death Dao to reach a half-step primordial level, after which he will be summoned. The importance of these life and death secret treasures has significantly diminished. But Luo Feng is quite wealthy. A secret ruins Divine Emperor and others will soon deliver 7,500 billion primordial crystals, so Luo Feng won't be stingy. "We understand. Brother Luo Feng, give us any instructions whenever necessary." Bo Xiu, Kaishan, and Bai Yin then bid farewell. Luo Feng watched them leave and then followed the sensation flying towards Yiju Cave Mansion. ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* place. Luo Feng flew sensing the direction, without encountering any obstacles, reaching the realm of time-space he sensed. A cave mansion is a separate realm of time-space? It even contains the origin power of the world, naturally operating with rules. Luo Feng was surprised, no wonder it sells for such a high price. as the owner of the cave mansion is naturally the master of this world. Buzz. As the world owner, the origin power of this realm can be easily converted into one's own power. Origin power can nurture all matters and all life. During conversion, there's no obstruction. The origin power nourishes the physical body and soul, allowing thinking speed to increase tenfold, while providing utmost comfort. Luo Feng felt the miraculous source power of the world. It's truly a treasure land for cultivation. First, absorb energy to reach 12 billion times. Luo Feng began his full absorption efforts. No matter how much origin power Luo Feng absorbed, the origin power of this world showed no signs of reduction. Luo Feng's conversion speed nearly reached the limit that his mind consciousness could bear. 2 million times, 3 million times, 10 million times, 50 million times, 300 million times. Luo Feng sat cross-legged in the realm between worlds, his body growing larger until finally reaching 12 billion times, where it completely stopped. Just in a moment, it reached 12 billion times. Luo Feng was astonished by the absorption speed. The power of the world origin bead, he took 3 days to convert it completely, and it only resulted in 1,000,000 times the energy reserve. But inside the cultivation cave mansion of the large primordial hall, in just a moment, 1,200 million times energy reserve was achieved without causing any major commotion. A 1,200 million times perfect divine body energy reserve does bring quite a burden. Luo Feng felt his physical body at this moment. It was too heavy. Luo Feng stood up. He walked step by step within this independent time and space, each step incredibly heavy. This heaviness, if placed outside the large primordial hall, would be enough to cause a massive collapse of time and space. My current mind consciousness system can perfectly control up to an 8 million times energy reserve. Exceeding 8 million times, my strength cannot increase. The extreme limit I can control is 300 million times energy reserve. Beyond this limit, my strength begins to decline. The difference between perfect control and extreme control is still significant. Exceeding extreme control not only does not benefit, but also has detrimental effects. Like now, every step I take is strenuous. My mind consciousness system still has many flaws. What I need is perfect control of 1,200 million times. Luo Feng's mind moved, directly contacting the large primordial hall. After all, the cave mansion was within the large primordial hall. Cultivator Luo Feng, what service do you need? A gentle voice arose. I found out there are 65 types of life-type high-level primordial bloodlines and 83 types of destruction-type high-level primordial bloodlines within the large primordial hall. Luo Feng inquired, among them, for those whose body size is considered extremely large within the same level, how many are there? Life-type high-level primordial life usually has a larger body size. Destruction-type high-level primordial life generally has a smaller body size. Those considered extremely large at the same level, there are 9 types of life-type, and 1 type of destruction-type. You can check the detailed information carefully. The gentle voice also conveyed a wealth of detailed information. Luo Feng understood, I will buy them all, paying with primordial crystals. For each high-level primordial bloodline, I need the corresponding 12 sets of body materials. A total of 148 kinds of high-level primordial bloodlines and corresponding materials cost 1,005.9 billion primordial crystals, the gentle voice said. Soon, these high-level primordial bloodlines and materials were delivered to Luo Feng's cave mansion. Must send them back. Luo Feng knew well. These primordial bloodlines and materials must be combined with the wisdom book and the eye of life and death to truly be effective. Whoosh! Luo Feng sat cross-legged, immediately splitting an avatar. This avatar carried an 8 million times energy reserve and quietly left the large primordial hall, departing from the primordial city, heading straight for the transmission holy mountain. With enough resources in the large primordial hall, this time must be a proper seclusion. Last time, seclusion was only 1,000 eras because the body's energy reserve was too low, not enough to practice. This time there is ample energy reserve, with various auxiliary cultivation treasures in the large primordial hall, Luo Feng can purchase at any time. Naturally, he can settle his mind and go into long-term seclusion. Such a huge physical body. Within the large primordial hall, two high-level primordial lives were paying attention to Luo Feng. The large primordial hall effortlessly provided all the energy Luo Feng absorbed, and they did not care. After all, the large primordial hall held so many primordial prisoners. Even 7 world-level primordial life corpses were stored. The immense power that needed to be mobilized was imaginable. Moreover, these two high-level primordial lives had also been practicing here for a long time, and their energy absorption speed was much faster than Luo Feng's. Yet to escape the braided cage, purely by speaking of the body, he already has a tenth of mine. The woman in the fiery red robe couldn't help but say, once out of the braided cage, that would be a qualitative change. Afraid it would surpass me by over 1 billion times. If he becomes a high-level primordial life, just this body size would immediately reach the extreme limit of high-level primordial life. How is that possible? The silver-haired and silver-browed man shook his head. He practices the fusion Tao. How could he refine high-level primordial bloodlines? If he does choose, the lords would likely not agree. Yes, he despises high-level primordial life. The woman in the fiery red robe had a complex mood, as she had spent endless efforts and under fortuitous encounters ultimately awakened her bloodline to the ultimate awakening, becoming a high-level primordial life. But this cultivator Luo Feng? He despised high-level primordial life. He will surely first choose world-level primordial bloodline. With his comprehension, under the Lord's nurturing, as long as he comprehends over 70% of the world-level primordial bloodline, he can successfully refine it and become a world-level primordial life. The silver-haired and silver-browed man said, after becoming a world-level primordial life, life essence metamorphosis and speed of thought are countless billion times faster than before escaping the braided cage. Then, to comprehend the great Tao, there is hope to become a primordial lord. Among the 7 lords of our cultivator camp, 6 were world level before becoming lords. Only one person directly became lord after escaping the braided cage. The silver-haired and silver-browed man said, becoming a world level before becoming a lord is also the most mature path. The cultivator who pioneers the fusion Tao has the highest limit and generally takes this path. How many in total have become lords? The woman in the fiery red robe gently shook her head. Lord represents the ultimate of infinite primordial space. He is likely to be world level, refine the source world of hometown, and then be the master of the source world. The silver-haired and silver-browed man sighed, envious and jealous. High-level primordial life, world-level primordial life, primordial lord. These are 3 major levels. The gap between levels is immense. It also leads to each level's leap needing to eliminate many cultivators. So, becoming a primordial lord directly from half-step primordial realm is even more unimaginably difficult. To date, in the entire infinite primordial space, only one has achieved it. Another cave mansion within the large primordial hall. Here, the birds are singing and flowers are blooming. On the endless grassland, a middle-aged man in blue is carefully painting, his brush paints in the void, naturally altering this part of the world with his scenery. Alas, the 5th path of the great Tao, it's so difficult to comprehend even a branch of it. The man in blue puts down his brush. Just this one path left. The man in blue gently shakes his head. He is Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch, an existence mastering 3 half-primordial level paths. Without refining any primordial bloodline, he was the strongest cultivator in the dark world before Luo Feng. The Lord favors me, has done so much for me, yet I have disappointed him. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch thought. As long as all 5 paths reach the 2nd realm of Godly King, mastering over half of the source world origin, I can completely control the source world, becoming the master of the source world. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch's eyes are filled with expectation. He has walked this path for too long. Over 30 source world cycles have passed. Too long. He has reached the half-primordial level in the paths of wind, fire, and thunder. But in his homeland source world, there was no thunder Tao. Only after leaving his homeland and encountering other fortunes did he cultivate the thunder Tao. The Lord valued me, helped me explore countless source worlds, choosing the most suitable one for me, allowing me to reincarnate into the new source world, Dragon Blood Origin World, which contains 9 paths, including wind, fire, and thunder. The 4th path, the water path, I reached the 2nd realm of Godly King in one reincarnation era. But the 5th path, I can't even comprehend a branch of the great Tao. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch is in anguish. Every cultivator has their specialties. Where one is not adept, comprehending a great Tao branch is not easy. Luo Feng focuses on life and death. The path to the great Tao is right in front, just a little bit more. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch has tried everything, even the Lord who favors him has thought of many methods for him. But there is just this last path left. The Lord said refining primordial bloodline should be the last resort. Endless consequences. Controlling the source world origin to become a world-level primordial life is the path to the great Tao without consequences. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch has other ways to escape the braided cage. But he's set on this path. Persistent and indomitable. The Lord is right, cultivation requires great perseverance. I've only gone through over 30 source world cycles, what's that to count? Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch has faced the temptation of other paths but remained steadfast. Suddenly, my junior brother is here. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch receives a transmission. A moment later, after Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch proactively opens the cave mansion door, Fengqiao City Lord enters. Senior brother. Fengqiao City Lord appears rather excited. What has you so excited? This isn't like you, Fengqiao. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch smiled. In our dark sacred realm, there is an invincible existence named Luo Feng. Fengqiao City Lord exclaims. Oh. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch is slightly surprised, smiling, it's not surprising. The dark sacred realm has birthed invincible existences before. Once born, they are usually taken. He's not been taken yet. He lives in the large primordial hall and even bought a cultivation cave mansion. Fengqiao City Lord explains. Not been taken. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch queries, bought a cultivation cave mansion in the large primordial hall. From what he knows, the 2 high-level primordial lives responsible for garrisoning the dark sacred realm, Qiu and Yufei. Once they find an invincible existence, even if the Lord hasn't arrived yet, these 2 garrison commanders should take the invincible existence, passing on some basic information. Unless the Lord instructed, only then the 2 garrison commanders did not take Luo Feng. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch is well aware of these rules. Because, before he reincarnated into Dragon Blood Origin World, he was already an invincible existence. Previously, he was under the jurisdiction of Starlight Lord, who cherished him. After reincarnation, he entered the jurisdiction of Yuan Lord. Even so, Yuan would not interfere with his growth, Starlight continued to handle his matters. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch, master of the source world seed, receives nurturing and resources surpassing those of high-level primordial lives like Qiu and Yufei who rely on primordial bloodline. Even at the world-level primordial life tier, masters of the source world who don't cultivate primordial bloodline hold higher status than world-level primordial lives who do. Is he confirmed to have invincible strength? Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch asks. Confirmed. Fengqiao City Lord nods. Secret Ruins Divine Emperor and their 15 collaborators couldn't withstand even a single move before Luo Feng Divine Emperor. Then it is indeed invincible strength. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch's eyes gleam. Invincible strength but hasn't been taken. There must be specific reasons. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch is curious. His invincible strength wasn't taken because he was specially tutored by Starlight Lord, he is a master of the source world seed. This Luo Feng, with invincible strength hasn't been taken, what could it be for? I want to visit this Luo Feng Divine Emperor. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch chuckled, can you help me contact him? Fengqiao City Lord helplessly said, I contacted Bo Xiu Divine Emperor and his associates after leaving Chengfeng City. Bo Xiu Divine Emperor and his 3 companions follow Luo Feng Divine Emperor. As they said, Luo Feng Divine Emperor bought a cultivation cave mansion in the large primordial hall and went into closed-door training, not seeing anyone. He'll summon when he emerges. Then please notify Luo Feng Divine Emperor's followers, tell them I, Dragon 9, wish to visit Luo Feng Divine Emperor. Once Luo Feng Divine Emperor emerges, inform me first. Dragon 9 smiled. Okay. Fengqiao City Lord nods, I'll send a transmission to them now. I'm also waiting for Luo Feng Divine Emperor's summon. Hoping Luo Feng Divine Emperor can give me some guidance. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch nods, his guidance might be useful to you. Dragon 9 is indeed proud. The normal invincible being was summoned, he didn't care much. But being invincible and not being summoned made him pay attention. Dark Sacred Realm, Wilderness. Above a vast expanse of black water, human figure is locked in battle with multiple super-limit level, low-level primordial life forms. Ha ha ha. Accompanied by a hearty laugh. The figure engages in close combat, ruthlessly killing these 12 super-limit level low-level primordial life forms. With a wave to gather the corpses, this figure's smile is exuberant. He's filthy, his hair a mess, his eyes tinged with blood, and his smile conveys a strange, eerie quality. Occasionally, the aura he emits causes the heavens and earth to tremble and twist. He is Divine Emperor Ji Ku, one of the two strongest cultivators on the surface of the Dark Sacred Realm. World-level primordial bloodline, the bloodline will it contains is too strong, can't be suppressed, just have to come out and kill once in a while. Divine Emperor Ji Ku felt quite tormented, because in addition to needing enormous battle merit to exchange for world-level primordial bloodline, one must endure a large primordial hall trial, ensuring they don't go mad from integrating the bloodline. He passed the trial and indeed didn't go mad, he's been clear-minded all this time. But still tormented by the bloodline will. The bloodline will influences his spiritual will, ordinarily driving him crazy. When suppressed for too long, he needs to come out for rampant killing. However, he is very clear-minded, never slaughtering cultivators wantonly, always running to the wilderness, hunting down these low-level primordial life forms. Currently in Dark Sacred Realm, the one who has slaughtered the most low-level primordial life forms is undoubtedly Divine Emperor Ji Ku. Divine Emperor Ji Ku suddenly received a communication. A true invincible being has emerged in Dark Sacred Realm, now residing in a large primordial hall, buying a cave mansion for cultivation. Divine Emperor Ji Ku was somewhat excited. Previously, invincible beings were always summoned and taken away. This Luo Feng Divine Emperor is quite peculiar, is not summoned, instead continuing to cultivate in Dark Sacred Realm. Good, just perfect to find him and have a battle. His strength is above mine, I can fully unleash my power and happily engage in combat. Divine Emperor Ji Ku immediately hurried towards Primordial City in high spirits. The news of an invincible being, Luo Feng Divine Emperor, emerging in Dark Sacred Realm gradually spread. Upon learning that Luo Feng Divine Emperor hadn't been summoned but chose to reside in a large primordial hall, many cultivators excitedly rushed to Primordial City, eager to hear guidance from this invincible being. After all, beforehand, even if an invincible being emerged, they were immediately taken away, making it extremely difficult to meet them. Invincible being, Luo Feng Divine Emperor. In a very ordinary cave mansion in a remote corner of Primordial City, both primogenitor Yang Feng and Thunder Ancestor resided here. I've inquired thoroughly, it's Luo Feng. Thunder Ancestor was somewhat excited. Currently, the entire Primordial City is buzzing with the news that this Luo Feng Divine Emperor has arrived in Dark Sacred Realm for just a millennium. His strength is already invincible. Not long ago, Emperor Qing said that Luo Feng single-handedly suppressed 4 super-limit level beings in Yulon City. Primogenitor Yang Feng couldn't help but remark, and now, suddenly, he's invincible. The speed of his rise is truly terrifying. Both of them watched Luo Feng ascend from the land of origin, soaring into the sky. I've also inquired about the land of origin. Thunder Ancestor stated, Luo Feng has been in closed cultivation all along, without special reason, no one can see him. Regardless of whether it's the land of origin or Dark Sacred Realm, he's always in secluded cultivation. Primogenitor Yang Feng added, since that's the case, let's not disturb him. Let's ask Morosa to relay a message, saying that he can summon us once he emerges. All right. Thunder Ancestor nodded. I never imagined that an invincible being could emerge from our homeland in the land of origin world. Having become invincible, escaping the braided cage isn't far off. Primogenitor Yang Feng commented. Both of them were quite envious. One of them is a half-primordial bloodline cultivator wishing for ultimate awakening, which is extremely difficult. The other is at the late stage of Divine Emperor enlightenment, yet hasn't reached the level of a half-primordial enlightened. If we had known, we should have offered more benefits. At this moment, Thunder Ancestor was somewhat regretful. We guessed he'd come to Dark Sacred Realm, but never anticipated he'd become so powerful. Flame Wind shook his head, believing that with the vast worlds they've seen, they only perceived Luo Feng as one of the many future powerhouses within Dark Sacred Realm. In hindsight, the relationship between Emperor Qing and Luo Feng far surpassed theirs. There are many who wish to see Luo Feng now. Numerous powerful cultivators have come from other cities to Primordial City, yet Luo Feng remains in closed cultivation, meeting no one. In this cave mansion within the large Primordial Hall, consuming treasures poses minimal burden on the soul. Luo Feng noticed that taking treasures like 100 Tribulations Heart Essence, which originally heavily burdens the soul, now becomes much lighter thanks to the constant nurturing of the origin power within the cave mansion's world, making the soul more comfortable. Consuming these treasures, Luo Feng's avatar in the land of origin, utilizing the Eye of Life and Death and the Wisdom Book, researched all collected low-level primordial bloodline, a task consuming 1500 millennia. Every time, Luo Feng began by studying corpse materials, analyzing them to infer the various mysteries contained within these low-level primordial life forms. Then he would validate these findings by observing the primordial bloodline. Thus, over 1500 millennia, and the speed of Luo Feng's thought process remained generally above 500 times faster. Luo Feng's understanding of both life and death attained a deeply profound level. Afterwards, Luo Feng only then began studying the high-level primordial bloodline within the mind-consciousness system. His newly purchased life and destruction categories of high-level primordial bloodline, through research, confirmed 15 kinds possessing a mind-consciousness system. This greatly enriched Luo Feng's knowledge of the mind system. The speed with which his mind-consciousness system was perfected increased dramatically. Unknowingly, Luo Feng had been in secluded cultivation within the large primordial hall for 4300 millennia. There were already many cultivators waiting for Luo Feng's summon in Primordial City, but not one dared to disturb him. Almost there. Within the cave mansion world, Luo Feng suddenly opened his eyes while sitting cross-legged on the ground. The deep accumulation from life and destruction categories, mind-consciousness system, and all other aspects led to the entire life and death Tao finally reaching the last step in its deduction. Only one final push is needed. This last push, further seclusion, is futile. Luo Feng realized, a spiritual stimulation is required, then the mind-consciousness system can achieve perfection. Consequently, life and death Tao can naturally reach Divine Emperor perfection. The half-primordial life and death path was already clearly discernible in Luo Feng's mind, yet it lacked one spiritual stimulation. Luo Feng leisurely walked out of the Grand Primordial Hall, strolling through the Primordial City. Observing the cave mansions with various cultural styles, and the cultivators with diverse appearances, most of these cultivators resembled human forms, yet largely retained some racial traits, with some even presenting in their original racial forms. Cultivators emerging from numerous source worlds and countless universes have actions and words imbued with the breath of different civilizations. But they all share a common trait, which is, they are all lives within the braided cage. Currently, in Luo Feng's heart, the half-primordial life and death path has emerged, lacking just a hint of inner touch. Along with his study of many low-level primordial bloodlines and some high-level primordial bloodlines, Luo Feng's understanding of these innate primordial lives has also deepened significantly. The difference between inside the braided cage and outside is like my homeland, Earth once described, the difference between low dimensions and high dimensions. Luo Feng felt this explanation was rather accurate. Within the braided cage, the half-primordial life and death path is already perfected. Advancing further is impossible. Yet jumping out of the braided cage feels like entering a higher dimension. The life and death path can be greatly expanded, its richness can be increased countless times. The half-primordial life and death path is like a drawn person, very exquisite, but the pixels are limited. The life and death Tao at the primordial level is the physical body in reality. They are truly worlds apart. The more I know, the more I understand the vast gap between the half-primordial path and the primordial level path. Luo Feng frowned, but legend says that a cultivator might hope to ascend in one leap, directly comprehending the primordial level path from the half-primordial level, breaking laws with force. This is a legend among the cultivators and the most sought-after desire of countless enlightened ones. Yet for bloodline cultivators, achieving the ultimate awakening into high-level primordial life is extremely rare. As for ascending in one leap, comprehending the primordial level path, breaking laws with force, it only exists in legends. If the intricacy of the half-primordial path is 1 unit, the primordial level path, at least 1,000,000 times, even 1,000,000,000 times more. I've endured so much hardship cultivating the half-primordial life and death path, and still lack that hint of inner touch. How can I ascend in one leap and directly comprehend the primordial level path? Luo Feng looked up at the sky. The biomimetic eye of destruction on his brow has become increasingly intricate, able to peer through the membrane wall of the dark sacred realm and glimpse some of the reality of the infinite primordial space. The half-primordial life and death path is within reach. Luo Feng can foresee that it won't hinder him much longer. But what about the next step? Take one step at a time, walk steadily. Luo Feng thought as he reached the cave mansions of Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kai Zhen. Bo Xiu and the others sensed Luo Feng approaching through causality and immediately came outside to greet him. "Congratulations, brother Luo Feng," Bo Xiu said with a smile. "After 4,300 eras, you finally emerged." Luo Feng smiled. During these 4,300 eras, the only time Luo Feng ventured out was when accepting hefty compensation from the secret ruins Divine Emperor. The rest was all focused on cultivation. They led Luo Feng into the cave mansion. The 4 of them sat separately. Kai Zhen said, "Brother Luo Feng, during these 4,300 eras, cultivators from various places have rushed to the primordial city, hoping to meet Brother Luo Feng, all seeking some guidance. After reaching the half-primordial realm, there's a sense of no further path." Bo Xiu sighed. "Many cultivators wish for a bit of guidance from an invincible existence." Luo Feng nodded. He could see the path ahead, but knowing the path ahead is countless times more challenging than the half-primordial life and death path. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch and Divine Emperor Jiku also wished to meet Brother Luo Feng, Bai Yin Divine Emperor said. "Oh? Them?" Luo Feng was indeed interested. The depth of their realm might offer him some insight. "By the way, I asked you to gather life and death secret treasures earlier." Luo Feng inquired. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kai Zhen exchanged glances. "We spread the word that Brother Luo Feng intends to acquire some life and death secret treasures," Bo Xiu explained. "With Brother Luo Feng's current fame, many cultivators willing to sell secret treasures are numerous, making it hard to choose the top 5. So we decided to wait for Brother Luo Feng to select personally after emerging." "All right." Luo Feng nodded. "Then, you select the best 20 items first, and invite those cultivators over. I'll personally choose a few needed ones." Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kai Zhen understood. "I'll pass the word to those 20 cultivators," Bo Xiu said. He, as a cultivator of the true witch lineage, possessed keen insight. With him selecting, Luo Feng was reassured. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luo Feng Divine Emperor emerged from the cave mansion. He went to Bo Xiu Divine Emperor's cave mansion. "I can pinpoint his location." In Primordial City, figures like Feng Jiao City Lord and other Divine Emperors had seen Luo Feng, able to sense Luo Feng's location at this moment through causality when Luo Feng didn't deliberately conceal it. In an instant, numerous cultivators rushed towards Bo Xiu Divine Emperor's cave mansion. Emerged? Finally emerged. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch and Divine Emperor Jiku got the news and also rushed over. They wanted to meet this Luofeng Divine Emperor. Everyone, please take a rest in the garden for now. Luofeng Divine Emperor needs to see other guests first. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kai Zhen all dispatched avatars to personally receive these visitors. No choice, there were too many visitors. They were too powerful. Apart from Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch and Divine Emperor Jiku, over 300 peak-level existences had arrived. Moreover, many half-primordial enlightened ones, half-primordial bloodline cultivators, have gathered tens of thousands of cultivators, still increasing with time. Bo Xiu and the others needed to make proper arrangements first. Luofeng Divine Emperor promised, he will definitely see everyone today, Bo Xiu said. No hurry. We waited for 4,300 eras, we have enough patience. Each cultivator was very polite, the temperament of an invincible existence unknown, angering Luofeng might cause him to leave directly. Meeting him again would be challenging. Deep within the cave mansion, Luofeng first summoned 20 cultivators. Their powers varied, with the highest reaching peak level, and the lowest at late-stage Divine Emperor Enlightened Realm. Please take out the secret treasures. If I wish to purchase them, I'll offer a suitable price. You can choose whether to sell or not, Luofeng said with a smile. I am willing to gift the secret treasure to Luofeng Divine Emperor, one cultivator said. I am also willing to gift. I am willing to. One by one, the cultivators spoke up. The so-called gift actually meant that Luofeng was incurring a debt of causality. If Luofeng cared particularly about causality, he would undoubtedly pay it back in the future. As Luofeng's strength grew, the value of this causality would rise even higher. Cultivators who could reach the dark sacred realm were not foolish, they all knew that gifting was the most profitable. No need. Luofeng gently shook his head, I will offer a suitable price. At his current level, these life and death secret treasures were merely to broaden his horizons and aid his cultivation, their importance was not that great anymore. Want to gift it? Luofeng would no longer accept gifts lightly. Ladies and gentlemen, please bring out your secret treasures for display, said Bo Xiu Divine Emperor, who stood beside him. The 20 cultivators, knowing that gifting was not possible, had no choice but to display their treasures one by one. Luofeng glanced over them. His accumulation in life and death was so profound that he instantly determined the value of these 20 life and death secret treasures. They are all either secret treasures refined by beings that broke out of the braided cage or innate secret treasures, Luofeng thought, varying greatly in value. I'll take these 9. Luofeng selected 9 of them and offered prices for each. As per the usual rules. The prices were twice the normal level in the dark sacred realm. For Luofeng, these primordial crystals were already insignificant. Luofeng Divine Emperor is indeed generous. The cultivators who couldn't gift their treasures looked pleased upon hearing Luofeng's offer. Selling at double the price was already very valuable. We agree to sell. 8 of the 9 secret treasure owners agreed to sell, but one cultivator hesitated. Chanfu God Emperor, Luofeng Divine Emperor has offered you 500 billion primordial crystals for your treasure, which is more than enough. Bo Xiu spoke up, what are you hesitating for? Trading is a free choice, Luofeng smiled and said, not minding much. My treasure is an innate secret treasure nurtured within a world-level primordial life corpse, exquisitely mysterious, and I believe it's worth 1 trillion primordial crystals. Chanfu God Emperor looked at Luofeng. Chanfu God Emperor was a half-primordial enlightened. Excluding this innate secret treasure from his home world source world, his entire accumulation over endless years was just a few 100 billion primordial crystals. This time, he had thought it through. Either gift it, or seize the opportunity to earn a substantial amount of resources. 1 trillion primordial crystals. Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, Kai Zhen, and other cultivators were a bit taken aback. Was he bold enough to quote such a high price? Chanfu God Emperor, however, was somewhat confident, coming from the source world, with an avatar, not too afraid. I heard that the secret ruins Divine Emperor compensated with 7,500 billion primordial crystals. For this Luofeng Divine Emperor, 1 trillion primordial crystals is just a fraction. My innate secret treasure must be highly alluring to the right cultivator, Chanfu God Emperor thought. Luo Feng glanced at the golden bone stick in Chanfu God Emperor's hand. The golden bone stick, combining the mysteries of life and death, was far superior to the palm world. With one swing, it could determine life and death. Then it's these 8, Luo Feng gestured, and 8 storage bracelets flew to the cultivators, containing primordial crystals at the agreed price, which the 8 cultivators joyously accepted. Thank you, Luo Feng Divine Emperor. They were all very satisfied. Chanfu God Emperor frowned slightly upon seeing this. Did Luo Feng Divine Emperor decide not to buy it just for an extra 500 billion primordial crystals? Bo Xiu, see the guests out. Luo Feng instructed. Please. Bo Xiu Divine Emperor immediately saw the cultivators off, leaving Chanfu God Emperor with dissatisfaction. Luo Feng wouldn't accept a gift nor acknowledge a trillion offer. He had to leave with his treasure. Luo Feng Divine Emperor, could you give us some guidance? One cultivator eagerly asked. There are already tens of thousands of cultivators gathered outside. I will meet with all cultivators today and discuss publicly at that time, Luo Feng said. The cultivators then smiled in delight and obediently left. The outer garden swelled as tens of thousands of cultivators gathered, still increasing in number. The 20 cultivators selling treasures also arrived here. Chanfu God Emperor, you're too greedy. Luo Feng Divine Emperor is an invincible entity, do you think he really cares about your treasure? Some cultivators mocked. The news of this transaction quickly spread among the cultivators, and Chanfu God Emperor felt something was amiss as he listened to the discussions around him. Bang! Suddenly, a slap landed on Chanfu God Emperor's shoulder, engulfing his entire body in terrifying power. Chanfu God Emperor turned his head and saw an elder, dirty and disheveled, with bloodshot eyes brimming with a sinister madness. The elder snickered at Chanfu God Emperor. Jiku God Emperor. Chanfu God Emperor's heart trembled. Who didn't know that Jiku God Emperor was unpredictably insane? Which treasure were you selling to Luo Feng Divine Emperor? Jiku God Emperor asked. It's this one. Chanfu God Emperor sensed the dangerous and sinister presence of Jiku God Emperor and obediently took out the golden bone stick. Now it's mine. Jiku God Emperor grabbed it. Chanfu God Emperor didn't dare to resist, watching as Jiku God Emperor took the golden bone stick without even giving a single primordial crystal in return. Visiting Luo Feng Divine Emperor, and I just needed a gift, Jiku God Emperor grinned. Chanfu God Emperor didn't dare to say a word at this moment. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch, Jiku God Emperor, Bo Xiu called from afar, Luo Feng Divine Emperor summons both of you. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch and Jiku God Emperor immediately followed Bo Xiu inside to visit Luo Feng first. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch and Jiku God Emperor are indeed different, being summoned first. After all, they both have deeper accumulations than us. Some pinnacle beings remarked. Among the cultivators, 2 very inconspicuous and weak ones, Primogenitor Yang Feng and Thunder Ancestor, were in the scene's lower echelon. Luo Feng should know we've arrived, but hasn't summoned us. Primogenitor Yang Feng and Thunder Ancestor exchanged a glance, knowing that in previous ages, their relationship with Luo Feng was still too shallow. Unexpectedly encountered that madman, Divine Emperor Jiku. Chanfu God Emperor felt rather aggrieved, facing Luo Feng. Luo Feng spoke of trade and freedom. The saying goes, riches are sought amidst danger. Since it's impossible to acquire a share of causality for free, he tried selling it for a high price. Unfortunately, he gambled and lost. After losing the gamble, he also ran into the eccentric Divine Emperor Jiku. Divine Emperor Jiku acts without any restrictions, mad and eccentric. Apart from the actions like Great Massacre that provoke public anger, he does whatever he pleases otherwise. Chanfu God Emperor knew clearly that if he had the slightest resistance, Divine Emperor Jiku might crush him. Within the city, killing is prohibited. But this rule isn't set by Senior Yuan and the others, it's autonomously established by the cultivators themselves. Regardless of the 35 cities in the 9 Rivers Sacred Realm or the 5 cities in the Dark Sacred Realm, how to manage the cultivators is up to them. So some of the highest beings occasionally violate this rule, and no one dares to speak up. Just one statement from Luo Feng frightened the 15 from Secret Ruins Divine Emperors group to obediently compensate 75 trillion primordial crystals. When Divine Emperor Jiku took action, Chanfu God Emperor dared not resist in the slightest. This Chanfu God Emperor truly is a joke. Tried selling at a high price but got robbed by Divine Emperor Jiku instead, ha ha. Who told him to be so greedy? The surrounding cultivators chatted, all treating Chanfu God Emperor as a laughing stock. Chanfu God Emperor stood there expressionlessly, feeling embarrassed despite it, but he still didn't want to miss Luo Feng's public teaching this time. He too had reached the half-primordial level as the enlightened. This public teaching is a rare opportunity not to be missed. Perhaps I can use this opportunity to escape the braided cage. Chanfu God Emperor ignored the surrounding mockery, patiently waiting. Every existence that has reached the half-primordial level yearns to escape the braided cage. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Greetings to Luo Feng Divine Emperor. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch and Divine Emperor Jiku saluted. At this moment Divine Emperor Jiku seemed not at all mad, with clean hair and robe, even his aura became calm and restrained. He was refining the world-level primordial bloodline, and actually remained clear-minded all along. It's just that he usually indulged in chaos, proactively venting emotions, even seeking large groups of low-level primordial life to slaughter. Suppressing them, even slightly venting, can stabilize control over oneself. Please have a seat, both of you, Luo Feng said politely. These two were stronger than other pinnacle existences by a long margin, each having their own extraordinary traits. Luo Feng Divine Emperor, this is a life and death secret treasure I acquired casually, it's a gift for our first meeting. As Divine Emperor Jiku spoke, he flipped his hand, and the golden bone stick flew out from his hand. Luo Feng recognized it at once as the secret treasure from before. Luo Feng Divine Emperor, don't mind. In the dark divine realm, it's natural for cultivators to battle and plunder each other. Divine Emperor Jiku smiled without any evil aura. I took this from Chanfu God Emperor, it's our causality. With my status, merely taking one treasure from him is his honor. Luo Feng took the golden bone stick before him, laughing. Divine Emperor Jiku acts truly straightforward. Those innate primordial life acts even more wildly and frenziedly. Divine Emperor Jiku sighed, choosing to refine the bloodline. One's temperament must also align with the bloodline. The path of the bloodline is not easy, Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch said beside them. Choosing this path, naturally, no regrets. Divine Emperor Jiku looked at Luo Feng Divine Emperor, could we spar? Let me see just how formidable the Invincible level is. Perhaps I'll be able to uncover more potential in the primordial bloodline through this. Battles can uncover the potential of the primordial bloodline. Luo Feng understood, smiled, all right, I'll accompany you in trying. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch, Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kaizhen watched with great interest. The two about to engage both are quite special. One is cultivating the primordial bloodline, specifically the world-level primordial bloodline. The other, already an invincible existence. In the distance, Luo Feng and Divine Emperor Jiku stood facing each other. Brother Luo Feng, please control the powers, don't destroy my cave mansion. Bo Xiu laughed. This is the cave mansion where the three typically reside, unable to withstand Luo Feng and their unrestrained moves. Rest assured. Luo Feng smiled slightly, and suddenly an endless blood sea appeared out of thin air around them, instantly covering half the garden, including Divine Emperor Jiku. The sea water rolled and wrapped, like the shape of an egg, layer after layer, without any power leaking out. The watching Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch was somewhat alarmed. What a terrifying Luo Feng! Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch was somewhat proud inside. Firstly, he had long since jumped out from the braided cage with his spiritual will. Also considered an invincible existence. Secondly, he is even a Master of the Source World candidate. When dealing with Luo Feng and Divine Emperor Jiku, there's a certain sense of superiority inside. This blood-colored sea water, though seeming suppressed in power, I can sense its strength, at least 100 times mine. Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch was alarmed. Even if I exert mental pressure on Luo Feng, making him only exert 2 or 3 parts of his strength, he could still easily destroy me. How can he be so strong? Under the braided cage, being this strong? Dragon 9 Daoist Monarch watched. Luo Feng Divine Emperor is truly impressive. Ha ha ha, please take me on. Divine Emperor Jiku felt the terrifying power of the endless blood sea firsthand, this power being so strong it even stirred a sense of despair within him. The gap is too big, fundamentally unattainable to fight. But the greater the disparity, the stronger Divine Emperor Jiku's inner frenzy becomes. He does not restrain his bloodline will at all, rather, he merges with it completely, letting himself explode without restraint. Boom! Divine Emperor Jiku, barehanded, caused continuous explosions within the endless blood sea. In the midst of the battle, Divine Emperor Jiku swung his right arm, transforming it into a striped giant serpent. The serpent moved, stirring the sea with a power that could destroy the heavens and earth. As he stomped his foot, it turned into a massive heavenly pillar, suppressing all directions. Every move he made was of immense power. Divine Emperor Jiku can only exert part of the power of the world-level primordial bloodline, showing just a few traits. Luo Feng knew very well that Divine Emperor Jiku's exploitation of his bloodline potential was still too weak. If he was strong enough, even by exploiting just a small portion of the world-level primordial bloodline, Divine Emperor Jiku could leap out of the braided cage and become a high-level primordial life. Too weak, too weak. Or rather, I am too strong. So thought Luo Feng. His immense body, with an energy reserve of 12 billion times, even if he could only perfectly control 1,200,000,000 times at the moment, his strength was a notch higher compared to when he battled Secret Ruin's Divine Emperor and the others. Handling the body with an energy reserve of 12 billion times had no effect on his strength eruption. When I battled Secret Ruin's Divine Emperor and others, I was one major level above the pinnacle level. Now I feel I'm another major level higher. Yet I am still considered within the braided cage. Luo Feng sighed to himself. The life within the braided cage, no matter how numerous, are ants compared to high-level primordial life. Boom! Luo Feng, with countless thoughts in mind, easily subdued Divine Emperor Jiku. Divine Emperor Jiku raged madly, but no matter how he exploded, he could not shake the endless blood sea, the gap was truly too vast. In the end, his entire body returned to normal form, and his aura completely withdrew. That was satisfying. Divine Emperor Jiku gathered his aura, smiled, and said that the gap with Luo Feng Divine Emperor is too large, far from being his match. With a single thought, Luo Feng put away the endless blood sea, leaving the garden with not a single flower or blade of grass harmed. Truly the invincible level. Daoist Monarch Longju marveled. At this moment, he also understood. There are 3 levels of invincibility. 1 is the spiritual will breaking out of the braided cage, 2 is exploiting the world-level primordial bloodline to a certain level, and 3 is the half-primordial's fusion Dao. Merely having the spiritual will break out of the braided cage is indeed the most common and weakest of the 3 invincible levels. This Luo Feng, it seems he does not cultivate bloodline, does he cultivate the fusion Dao? Daoist Monarch Longju speculated, but why has he never been guided? Luo Feng, Daoist Monarch Longju, Divine Emperor Jiku, Bo Xiu, Bai Yin, and Kai Zhen all sat apart. Luo Feng Divine Emperor, you can tell. Divine Emperor Jiku straightforwardly inquired, although I have refined the world-level primordial bloodline into my body. But I can only exploit a very small potential, unable to leap out of the braided cage. Does Luo Feng Divine Emperor have any solutions? Primordial bloodline, must it be refined into the body first before exploiting its potential? Luo Feng asked back, can't one carefully study the primordial bloodline, research its mysteries, understand its essence, and then refine it? Bo Xiu and the others listened intently. Breaking out of the braided cage was difficult for them. If the bloodline path could break out of the braided cage, they would willingly pursue it. Divine Emperor Jiku nodded. The bloodline path can be divided into 2 major types. The first type is to refine the bloodline into the body, and then exploit the bloodline's potential. This is what innate primordial life forms do. The second type is what Luo Feng Divine Emperor mentioned: to first comprehend the mysteries contained within the primordial bloodline, research its essence, and then refine it. Naturally, one can unleash the bloodline's mighty power. Divine Emperor Jiku said, this second type is too difficult. Even studying high-level primordial bloodline, although one can use treasures exchanged from large primordial halls to thoroughly perceive all mysteries of the high-level primordial bloodline, truly comprehending it, too difficult. It's very difficult. Daoist Monarch Longju also said, a single high-level primordial bloodline may contain the mysteries of over a dozen Dao. How many do we understand? How much can we comprehend? Luo Feng nodded. Indeed. Innate primordial life forms are naturally born within the infinite primordial space, so their bloodlines contain various Dao. Like the blood scale of the Star Tower, Luo Feng has observed that life-type secret patterns occupy 34.3%, destruction-type secret patterns occupy 9.2%, and there are many other categories. So even with Luo Feng's deep accumulation in life and destruction, what he mainly studies about the Star Tower blood-colored scale is about 43%. There are many paths Luo Feng is not good at. The infinite and life paths I excel in only reach the half-primordial level. Divine Emperor Jiku shook his head. I found the most compatible high-level primordial bloodline, with life occupying 50% and infinite occupying 30%. Yet many of these mysteries are parts that escape the braided cage, and I can only understand some parts. To truly refine a primordial bloodline, one must comprehend 70% of it. Divine Emperor Jiku looked at Luo Feng. To comprehend 70%? How difficult that is. I couldn't even comprehend 70% of a high-level primordial bloodline. The path to comprehending bloodlines is too advanced, and my comprehension is far from enough. Therefore, exploiting bloodline potential is more suitable for me, said Divine Emperor Jiku. Beside him, Daoist Monarch Longju also said, from what I know, those who break out of the braided cage by the bloodline route mostly exploit the bloodline potential. To comprehend the essence of the bloodline? 1 in 10,000. Luo Feng thought for a moment. Low-level primordial bloodline, the mysteries of life and death, I can fully comprehend. For high-level primordial bloodline, the difficulty of my comprehension increases significantly. However, I have already comprehended more than 70% of 3 types. They are Heavenly Fire Shadow, Ghost Prison Disaster Beast, and Catastrophe Beast. The Heavenly Fire Shadow, life type occupies about 50%, destruction type about 30%. In fact, any innate primordial life form's bloodline mysteries will inherently contain life category secret patterns, just with varying proportions. Heavenly Fire Shadow, because of Luo Feng's near comprehension in life and destruction, has already surpassed a 70% comprehension of the entire bloodline, allowing for a firm grasp to become a high-level primordial life. Ghost Prison Disaster Beast, with life occupying 40% and destruction occupying 40%, is also a major focus of Luo Feng's comprehension, with a comprehension degree that also surpasses 70% for the entire bloodline. Catastrophe Beast is the shadow of the Catastrophe Beast Luo Feng once witnessed on the land of origin. The Catastrophe Beast mainly involves life and death types, with destruction over 50% and life occupying about 30%. Luo Feng's comprehension of this primordial bloodline also exceeds 70%. If I am willing, I can become a high-level primordial life at any time. I can even choose to integrate all 3 bloodlines into my body and exploit all their potential. Luo Feng even had a feeling that these 3 high-level primordial bloodlines are among the strongest of their level. Once all 3 are fused and their potential entirely exploited, they may directly reach the limits of high-level primordial life. Perhaps there is even hope to break through the limits and ascend to the world-level primordial life plane. The bloodline path is said to have many future troubles. Luo Feng did not have a deep understanding, but it was already a consensus in the cultivation world. Though the bloodline route has high potential, it comes with innumerable future troubles, making the path of the enlightened the best road. This episode is end here.